How's the focus?
Focus on me.
Don't do that because I'm gonna think I can follow up and my tones are just gonna be. Bro.
Tonesy.
Yeah, it's Tonesies. This is Tonesies. Game of Tonesies. We love Tonesies. Tonesies. Oh my God.
Oh man, welcome to the show, man.
Oh man, bro, finally, man.
Finally.
That long man's been waiting to make this one happen.
It's crazy. I'm glad we've been able to make it happen in person rather than
man.
Skype or something like that.
Yeah, man. Definitely, bro.
Definitely. Let me just move you.
Yeah. Go on, cuz, touch me up, man. Touch me up. Fix me up.
Perfect, man. Yeah, so surrounded by legends right now. Bruce Lee.
No,
on the
hey,
top.
that's how we like it, man.
Yeah.
Keep man grounded, guided.
Definitely. And
The man himself.
the man himself, Bob Marley.
The vibes, man.
Proper vibes. Yeah, right. That's good. That's good. So, where should we start, man? I suppose the beginning's good.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up? Was acting always a part of, was performing even part of your upbringing?
Yeah, you know what? It kind of was, man. Because, I mean, the beautiful insight is you part of the family as well. So you seen it.
I seen it.
So it's always been a very lively, charismatic type of household. And there was always some sort of performance, whether they knew it or not. Someone was recreating a song or doing a dance from a video or reenacting something from the real McCoy.
Yeah.
Like that's how a lot of it started.
Oh, wow.
So there'd be, when we was younger, my mum would be like, "Go on, you and Sean, a reenactor." We'd be in the pub.
Yeah.
In where was it? The Wellington pub, I remember. We was young, man. And mum and dad would have us like enact the skits
From
Real
Real
McCoy.
Wow.
Bruv, stuff we shouldn't even have been
Yeah,
knowing
for
about.
real.
Yeah. I remember that one skit. I'm not going to say it on here because some of the stuff is... Music, dance was heavy in the household. So Michael Jackson's, Motowns, it was just always parties, performing. Like, it was just, it was just there. So it was kind of almost second nature just to go into it. I definitely did it from a kid. Like, I just found it fun. You know, there was these like weekend theatre programs in Stratford and Hackney, and we'd put on shows at the end of the summer or whenever the break was. Bro, that was, I thank my mum for that, man. Mumsy pushed. Like dad, obviously he was working, he had the finance man, he wouldn't have been able to do it if he didn't, you know, but Mumsy made swimming, piano, karate. Yeah, and we got to try it, and then they were wonderful about it. If we said we didn't like it no more, okay, stop, you can try something else. But man, I remember trying so many things. A cello, bro. I had a cello that was, I remember carrying that to school. The thing was bigger than me,
Yeah,
bro.
that's long.
Yeah.
Cellos, boy.
But it was we got those experiences which I cherish as I got older, because I understand how I was able to get to a point and be like, what can I do going forward in the future? And because I had so many things in the past that I knew about, that I knew I liked, I was like, oh, we really enjoyed that. You know, let's try that. Let's start there.
Yeah.
And luckily it was acting. That was the one. But I was going to make my way through all the things that I liked just to find out where I wanted to go. But acting was the one.
Wow.
Yeah. Because you confuse so much with it, though, man. Like, the martial arts ties in with it.
Yeah.
Instruments ties in with it. Music. I mean, you know, we're being human, so nothing really is out of the realm of acting. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Storytelling.
That is
And
fine,
you've been used to performing from young.
Yeah.
Real young. And you went into dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of dance was you?
It started as street dance, man. Yeah. But I originally saw breakdancing with Mike, my older brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Ain't no stopping
bruv, he had the
us, ain't
video,
no
the old school
stopping.
Beach Street,
Yeah.
all of that. And I remember one video he had, this guy was breakdancing on crutches. And me and Michael brought the crutches out in the house and was trying it for time. Nigga never do it, but
He was doing like the twist.
yeah, trying to he was doing that.
that.
And then I would take it to school, and then I remember that's how it started. We were just trying moves that weren't really anything, but we saw and we was trying to recreate. A couple of friends were like, "Oh, I want to try it too." Cool. We had this little group, and then before you know it, 2 years later, we had an official like breakdance crew that started with just trying to do a headstand in the corridor of school. It started like that.
Yeah.
And two other guys were like, I want to try it. Next minute, we had a crew. 5-6 years later, we was breakdancing all over England, competing in competitions. But it started in street dance, and then I kind of realized I enjoyed the breakdancing a bit more. Yeah, my dance teacher, she used to be like, just go break dance in the corner. Because we were doing street dance, and as soon as she would yell, like, we got a 2 minutes or something, I'm trying to do hops and one-handed. So she just made me like the freestyle guy.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Do you reckon that's kind of helped you in, like, now you do martial arts and all those
most
kind of
definitely,
things?
man.
Yeah.
Most definitely. There's some, I only realizing this recently, some things like Taekwondo, the foundation of it is insane. Like sometimes I feel it gets a bad rep because you have these more destructive arts that are like really deadly and amazing. And Taekwondo sometimes, because of the sport too, it's become point based. So it's a different element of fighting.
Okay.
But the foundations they give you, like you really learn how to kick and different styles of kick. So you have all of this in your arsenal. So when you go to this, the other arts, they kind of come from,
Oh, really?
yeah. So that kick is easier to get because I understand the foundation. It helped me so much with
It
dancing too.
unlocks, yeah.
So in jiu-jitsu, I remember we're doing something. I've just started really, but we're doing some bits, and I say to the guy, "Oh, you want me to do a backspin?" I'll literally be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you mean backspin? Come under him." And then, move my legs like a windmill. And he was like, yeah. But because I had that, it
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
it
You got
clicked
that
so
programming.
quickly. So it really did. I remember my Taekwondo teacher would say, you dance, where's your rhythm? Because at first when I was doing it, I didn't put that
You was
connect
trying to be
together.
a bit too technical with it.
And then as I got better and I realized the flow and how it worked, and dance goes hand in hand with the rhythm, the breath, and I was like,
Ah.
and I'm still, nowhere is still mastering it, but
Yeah.
the journey is.
Have you done capoeira?
No, so the funny thing about that as well is because it was a capoeira, is that they used the dance to hide
Yeah,
it. There's
yeah.
so many like breakdance, man. So there's moves I could actually do. I thought that are breakdance moves too, but
Yeah.
stem from capoeira as well. So it's
Wow.
like there's certain parts that just clicked, man.
So that's always been interlinked.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
did karate young
I
as
did
well.
karate young,
Yeah.
and Tang Sudo, which is Korean martial art, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, and if
Wow.
I got that wrong, they got slaughtered. We had Master John, man, in Atherton. He was serious. I remember he put a metal pole like this and just bent that in front of everyone. Boy.
No way.
Blown away, man. He was just breaking breeze blocks. This guy was amazing.
Right.
Yeah,
So
me and Sean was
karate
in
kid
awe.
business.
Yeah, no, for real. The original Miyagi-san.
Yeah, seriously.
And he was black.
I'm from Forest Gate.
From the ends, cuz.
Miyagi. Oh my days. So I mean, martial arts has been in your DNA from quite a long time. We'll probably pick up. On
Yeah, it's
that.
funny because my dad was a big martial artist.
Yeah, this was
Uncle
gonna ask.
Leroy was that's because he had collections as a kid. The VHS. I remember going to his house, and I couldn't watch most of them because it were a lot of X-rated ones or R-rated, whatever you call them. But Mike would sneak them and show me them and tell me what happens in them. Bro,
Mike's the original rebel, isn't it?
He showed me so much things I weren't meant to see super young.
Yeah.
But it kind of like worked out for me because it I don't know, man, it's hard to explain, but I just had this. I remember cluing up my friends to stuff, like all stuff that happened in America, kung fu movies, all these things that Michael would get, Boys in the Hood, Menace Society, all the music and everything.
Yeah.
Having that older brother gave me that. So I had all the cool stuff from the older generation that was able to grasp and appreciate. That made it easier when I get along with older people so much easier because I can relate to so much stuff from
Yes.
the Motowns to the 80s kung fu movies, 70s the Bruce Lees, and just because of the parents and that, and having such a heavy influence and looking up to them a lot,
Yeah. And as well, like where there was no internet and things like that, houses. I think that before, households used to be a lot more vibrant in terms of like music and the things that we read and see and stuff because it was a lot more physical back then. So there'll be vinyls all over the place. There'll be music blasting.
Oh, the
there'll
vinyls,
be
mate,
a video VHS collection or a DVD collection, and you could see what people are into now. But whereas now it's like everything's behind the screen. You won't really know what people
it's
are into.
so
in that
true.
sense.
I didn't even think of it like that.
Yeah.
You see the DVD collection, you see straight away because you could tell a person from their DVD
Right,
and book
exactly,
collection.
yeah,
You could tell a lot.
You can.
Yeah, I
you can.
remember now you're saying that, I just got the picture. I remember that unit we had in the front room. when Dad had the encyclopedias, and then he had a couple, like he had the Gandhi documentary, the Bruce documentary.
There you go.
Like
It's
he
exposure.
had yeah. And then he had like the classics, the Clockwork
Yeah.
Oranges, the Godfathers.
Yeah.
He had all of those there.
It's funny you say Gandhi and Bruce Lee together. I'll probably pick up on that. But I just see like it's a similar kind of character traits that you have because you're super disciplined and martial arts and everything, but you have a spiritual side as well. So we'll probably pick up on that later. But just talking about exposure and like DNA, like martial arts and performing being in your DNA. Let's talk about where you're actually from as well. So your mum's Jamaican and your dad's from
Guyana.
Yeah. So no one really speaks about Guyana too much. So.
Right? Everyone know about Jamaica.
Right,
I love
exactly.
Jamaica. Big man himself right here. You know? Jamaica's on the map.
It's on the map. So what parts of your like your upbringing and your Guyanese culture is like kind of got you to where you are now? Like what wouldn't people realise?
Brethren, the roti, brethren. Roti fingers in the air, brethren. Hey, listen. You know what? It's the beautiful thing of growing up mixed, especially to similar but unique cultures. But it just opened me up to like, it was weird because I'm Jamaican, obviously, you know, majority black, and then Guyanese is like the Indian side. So
Yeah.
the school was very multicultural. So I naturally just kind of got along with everyone. Because at first it was hard.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel like I fit anywhere. That was
Yeah.
the hard part. It was hard to, you know, I had my friends who were full Indian, they had that. And then my friends who were black and they had that, and my white friends in it. So I kind of just, at the time, I didn't think too much of it, but I definitely remember thinking, well, I don't kind of fit anywhere. But eventually, as I got older, I thank for the blessings of that, because I was able to understand so many cultures, man, and just appreciate them open with no judgments of like, oh, this is the be all and end all, because that's all I know growing up, which I understand. But because I had so many different things, like both my parents were a different religion. So mum was more, she was Christian and had gone Catholic and Christian, but she was mostly around that. And then dad at the start wasn't, but his mother was Hindu. So I grew up seeing that too. Then dad eventually at one point, I remember he became Christian. Then after some traveling, he embraced Buddhism, which came into my life through him, which was huge. So now I grew up with all these understandings of different religions as well, which was brilliant because everyone is the same person.
Right.
Yeah. But all that religion stuff, all these guys that I met is the same good heart that man had over there. That's why I was like, yo, why are we separating because of putting it in boxes? You're the same.
Yeah.
I remember I would have friends who, they'd be arguing with each other, but not arguing with me. So then I'd be in the middle hearing this stuff, and I'd be like, but you two are the same dude. Like, if you actually go out of your way, you'd be best friends.
Yeah.
Two of my dance friends, I remember, I never forget. I don't know why they hated each other. Now I know it's ego. They were both two of the best.
Right.
And there was this like unsaid thing. And I was always in the middle of it. When I gave up, years later, them two best friends now. Best friends. They travel everywhere on each other's Instagrams. And I was like, I knew you two would be great friends if you just let go of the... There was like a, you know what it is with guys as well.
Especially
There's the ego,
yeah,
there's the difference
dance.
of cultures, and now they're best friends, man.
Yeah.
And a beautiful friendship at that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes with maturity as well. I think.
Yeah.
Like, you're not my competition in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When we're younger, that's just
Yeah.
bred in, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
But the Guyanese culture, man, was because even that's so mixed as well. You know, even down to the cuisines.
Yeah.
There's the Indian influence, the black, the Chinese. It's just everything.
Everything,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you'd go into another restaurant and you see the Indian curry and you'd be like, oh, you already kind of know what's going on. You know, you go see some chow mein in the Chinese plate and you kind of know what's going on.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was like this weird. Yeah, I just like to consider myself a man of the world.
Definitely. Well, what's funny is that you go into school and you don't feel that you relate to anyone, but really you relate to quite a lot more than you would have. Yeah, because of your culture.
I didn't notice it at the time. It was kind of... I only noticed this when I got older because it was even... You couldn't really relate to the parents because my mum's pure Jamaican. My dad's pure Guyanese. So the only ones who know my... I don't say struggle, but know my, you know, my life is my brothers and sisters.
That's right,
Are the
yeah.
only ones. Because my friends, even though that one might be mixed, it's a different mix. or he's not mixed. So
Very good point.
yeah, so now that even made me look at my brothers and sisters even closer, because I'm like, wow, you were the only exact like mix as me in this whole place.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because my dad would have arguments with my mom, and natural things growing up then. But we had a great family upbringing.
Yeah.
But then I would know when they would argue, I'd be like, wow, you lot, that argument is so irrelevant because I have both the blood in them. But then they'll be arguing those Guyanese versus Jamaican points.
Oh
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
But no, it worked out in the long run as the biggest blessing ever. But usually the gift is the curse, isn't it? You just got to learn how to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yin and yang. Yin and yang.
Yeah,
Man.
for real, man.
Wow. So you got a really close relationship with your brothers and sisters because of that. And everyone's obviously I know you all, and you've all got your own like flair in terms of like what you do as performers. When did you really know that acting was the one, and that's something that you want to pursue as a professional?
Yeah, I always loved it, like a different type of love, man. It was like the love I can equate to when my first crush, the girl I had my first crush on, like that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Every time I did it was just this, I just loved to perform. And coming from a wonderful upbringing, but at times coming from our background, there's elements that's broken that, only we've been able to see through the birth, and the psychology and stuff's got better, and people are paying attention to emotions and empathy, and therapies called out, which are essential things that sometimes, especially men, and then men of like ethnic background, I can only speak for myself, but sometimes they're like, nah man, move that from me, you get me, that's not for us, that's
Very
not for us, that's
dismissive.
stupid,
Brush it under the carpet.
Yeah, so I don't know, I was always naturally more of a sensitive and expressive, but I just used to like say my parents had an argument, I would hate that, the feeling, what would happen, like, even though it's natural, but I would notice when I make them laugh or do something stupid, just the joy, man. And even just entertaining, even if they were just watching you do a dance or something, you took them away from that.
Right.
Yeah, and you filled them with something. That for me I was like, wow, you can take people away from the drama, the arguing, or whatever, and you can just offer them an escape and bring them along with you. Entertainment. You can make them laugh, you can make them sad, you can make them empathize with you, you can make them want to live your life. It's just performances, storytelling, and that. It's just a wonderful tool for people to, get out of their own lives and the silly little things sometimes we can become pinned down by. And I that was the main thing that I saw, was like, you lot don't argue when I'm doing some stupid shit.
Wow.
I'm going to do some more stupid shit.
I didn't expect that answer, that's really cool.
Yeah, that was even when I remember in my head saying I wanted to do this, I remember looking around, because where we grew up, there's not that many positive role models. There are, but
if you seek them out.
Yeah, if you see them.
Yeah.
It took me till after to realize some of the positive ones that were there the whole time. But we tend to gravitate towards any sort of successful person where we're from. So it just so happens there was more in sight who were necessarily living in I wouldn't say bad, it's not bad, they were living a different type of lifestyle. So that, I remember growing up, and then I remember seeing a lot of idols that I remember growing up with, and then you just hear madness all the time. And it would break my heart, man. It would literally break my heart, because I'm like, wow, you're pulling me out of my, whatever you want to call it, darkness, whatever you want to call it, and I feel like I have this purpose now. And then to see and then using that idol to do it, then when you hear something about them, it kind of makes you think, oh, wow, are you gonna end up like that? Maybe you can't do it for good. Maybe this is maybe there is no way to do it like that. So I said to myself, I was like, I just want to entertain people, whatever the entertainment is with the art, but I want to stand for good, man. Like I'm not perfect, not at all, but I know for a fact that I want to do this to stand for something good, man, to give people something like, no, you can do it. they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not on no, like, I don't want people to be like, you know, but just on there's good guys too. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And I ain't saying I'm perfect, you get me? I'm still mess up here and there, but failure, man, it's the biggest lesson ever.
Yeah.
Failure is almost better than winning if your mindset is right.
Yep.
Yeah, because I've taken failure before, some of my biggest failures at the time. And now looking back at it, I was like, whoa, that was the catalyst for after that, things changed.
Yeah.
But if I didn't use it, there's been failures from when I was younger that I didn't use, that started to eat away at me, that caused detriment later on. And then once I learned that everything's a mindset, and once you can use that and adapt to that, oh man, life is a gem. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
No pun intended for the wife. My cuz gem, you know. Hey, I love it.
Wow. Well, so, I mean, the root of what you're doing is in changing your environment, I think. That's incredible. That's really powerful. Because it's not only like your immediate environment, but also, like you said, people may look up to like where you are and see, oh, this is what's possible for me now. So
that's what I wanted, man. Because we had a big group of friends in the neighborhood, and I remember half of them don't even know this, but I saw something in every single one of them. I'm like, oh man, you could do this. If you would get out of your way, you could do this. You man, there's so many talented man in the ends. Yeah. There's ballers in the ends better than some of the guys on the pitch. Yeah. And no disrespect, but it's real talk. Yeah. Like the quality. It's like in America. I've seen guys on the basketball court that are insane. But some people through whatever their journey was, things are a little different. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that the talent's not there. That was one thing that I didn't realize. I thought because if you didn't have the accolades, that talent might not be there. But that talent's there. Yeah. That talent is there. Like the Nipsey lyric he said, the whole time you realized that you was great. It was inside you. So I was like, oh, we have it. You just have to harness it. That's how the Lionel Messis and the Bruce Lees and these men harnessed it and went forward and let nothing deter them. Whereas, coming from different stories, different backgrounds, different environments, people's journeys are different. But I noticed with, persistence and a good support base. I had a great support base, man. Having the family around and friends who supported. That's why I feel like, I want to support and do that as well. 'Cause I had that, and I see what it's like for friends who necessarily didn't have a pops, and it was different, man. Because I had my father to look up to, even when I didn't know I was looking up to him. Yeah. I was looking up to him, and then I noticed with some of my other friends, the decisions they made, there was a lack of that, of a father figure with some of those decisions. So I see why certain things were, felt like it was out of the realm for them, and other things felt natural. Because we can create this bubble for ourselves sometimes, which can be limiting. Yeah, I don't believe in them bubbles and limitations, man. Everything is a mindset. You put your mind to something, you condition your mind right. It may take long, but you will get that. For real. 100%. I truly believe that, man.
100%. Yeah. So you're spotting potential in everyone. Like I relate to that as well. Like when you just, you could do this, like, trust me, do A, B, C, and D, and it's going to happen. Because also, when you're not in that person's situation, it's clear what they could do if they wanted to. Yeah. The problem is we get in our own way, right? Yeah. So, how did you not get in your own way and spot the potential in yourself to then, you've got non-limiting beliefs. I know you came over to LA for a competition.
Yeah.
Right.
iPop,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that part of you spotting that potential in yourself and going, look, I need to do
it was
something else. I need to come out here.
Bro, I was sick and tired. I just grew sick and tired.
Like
I was always one that was always doing something extra. Just fun. Because we played football. Me and my brother played football when we were younger. Yeah. And that was the goal. Like we took that up until about probably 15, 16, it was real serious. And then that stopped. And then, there was dance. And so there was always something that I had to express myself. It was only when only time I realized I stopped doing everything. because of environment, because of things that I was so prime example. I went into dance from football. So already for some of the football guys, I was like, bruv, what you going into dance for, bruv? That's for the girls, bruv. What you doing, bruv? Like, it was one of those. So, but I loved it. I didn't care. And then I remember I went into college and guys were a bit older then. I remember letting it affect me that people didn't really respect dancers. And they thought you were kind of a pushover. And I was like, I ain't no pusher. Just because man can do 2 headspins and a moonwalk don't mean I won't do that on your face, cuz, But I was like, it really shocked me. And it was the views of girls, guys, everything. And I made that shape my reality. I stopped dancing. I had an injury too. So I kind of, at that time, was like, oh, it's fate. I'm meant to stop it. It was stupid.
Right.
I stopped dancing. And then I kind of stopped everything. And I had 2 or 3 years where I was able to, not able to, but I didn't really have a goal anymore. But it was still a very pivotal time now that I look back. Because in that time, there was so many characteristics and things that I learned from not having that anymore.
Yep.
That when I got it back, I was like, it was just this crazy understanding of, oh, that's how so many of these talented guys end up. Because you feel forgotten. You feel like you don't have a chance. You feel like your dream is dead.
Yeah.
So you just do whatever comes your way. And sometimes that's what the guys on the block are doing, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I kind of got caught up in that. And then it got to a point where, plus money too. When you're a kid up to 16, everything's cool.
Right.
And then you have to get in college and you have to start earning. And then you realize how hard it is to balance your dream and that. So man found other ways of making money and that, But I made a little bit of money. And it was the maddest moment that I can remember, so fresh. I had a decent amount of money. And my head just started, I just went, stop what you're doing. Like, it's time to, it was the clearest voice in my head ever.
Really?
It was like, yeah, stop what you're doing. I remember I was sitting in my room, it was like, go back to acting. And it was just like everything, it was weird, man. I was like, yeah, that's what I got to do. And I was like, at the top of my game, dropped it all, and was like, I'm going to use this now to fund myself for
Where do you think
2 years.
that come from?
Reading books now.
Yeah.
I'd like to say the soul. I just say my inner me, man. The
child.
I always yearned for that as a kid. I loved that, and I put it on the back burner.
Yeah.
I forgot about it, and I think that when the opportunity came, because the money wasn't there, so how was I meant to even support myself? That's the hard part. Is I really have admiration for people who are working 4 jobs and making the dream happen. Yo, that is something special, because I don't know if I'd have been able to do that.
Yeah.
Because my method was I didn't work. Like, I lived broke when I had to. I was raiding my Popsy's piggy bank at 26 because I was like, I have one goal, it's gonna happen, and I just had to be tunnel vision on that.
Yeah.
Because if I gave myself these other jobs, it would have distracted me. I'd have come home from work and the mind frame of the whole day, and then you come home and then you're tired, and then trading's hard, and all those extra bits of work you need to do on your dream is gone to the 9 to 5 or whatever it is. So I was like, for my person, it's knowing you. I got a friend, Justin, who's like, he could balance both. He'd go to work, come home, like Jem told me about you. You come home, take a nap, and you're banging out your work. Not me, bruv.
Yeah.
Nah.
Well, I suppose as well, because acting is so emotional. Like we was discussing off air, you're literally walking around with your emotions.
Yeah, like Joey says, I'm an actor, Rach. My emotions are on the surface. So, at any time, I can get emotional.
Exactly. So I can understand and empathise, like, as an actor. Carrying out whatever is going on through the day will be very difficult. And also, like, the timings and stuff like that as well. Like, probably wouldn't get much opportunities, so...
Yeah, that's another thing. There's not much, especially being from East London, from some sort of ethnic background. It's no one was doing it. Like it was even before 2009 when I just got. It's probably 2007 when I was getting back into it. But even when I was doing it as a kid, there wasn't that many people doing it. So that in itself was a barrier, because when it came to picking a career, I was like, that's not for us. Because I didn't see many of us.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's not for us. So many careers, I was like, that's not for us. That's not for us. And I wanted to be a doctor as a kid because of Mike, because of his sickle cell.
Yeah.
So, and I genuinely did. Like, I had a passion for that, definitely. I enjoyed learning about the body, and I remember a lot of birthdays. I'd ask my dad would get me a stethoscope and video scopes and books, and you know,
Oh, wow.
I wanted to find a cure for sickle cell. That was I swear, man, that was like deep one of my lifelong dreams. Or help, just do something. Yeah,
Definitely.
So when I went to school and studied, I remember being like, oh man, if I have to look at another textbook, fam, I'm gonna dash it at the teacher.
Yeah.
Because it was the style of learning.
Yeah.
When we were hands-on, or it was a different style of learning, it was amazing. But I couldn't do the copy 2 pages. I didn't remember any of it.
Yeah.
So I got bored of it and I thought this wasn't for me. So then that's
But really,
what
you wanted to help.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
then
that was the
that
essence.
another reason why I sat there that day when I was like, okay, we have to do something now. We can't just be hanging about and like.
Right.
I want kids. I want a family. I don't want them to struggle. So I put all of these things down as to what I need from a career, and then I had my personality of who I am, and I realized that I can't do something that's the same all the time. I can't do something that's not, that doesn't have excitement, spontaneity, and all those type of things, and still able you to earn a decent amount of money, impact people. Because I said whatever I do, I have to bring awareness to sickle cell. So whatever avenue I choose, it has to have some sort of impact for me to get a platform to talk about,
Right.
some of these things that I just want to help. So I looked at that. I looked at my personality. Man, get bored easy, and the fact that I'm like, yo, I like to chill. Life is about balance. I see my family in at work 7 days a week, and then have no time for themselves, no time for themselves, their soul, just to look care of them. Balance, man. Rest is just as important as going hard. So I said to myself, I was like, I want a career that if I want to go and take some time off, I'm gonna take some time off.
Yeah.
You know what? I see people who I remember cousins who they'd come over and we'd had the most amazing time. And then they have to leave early because they got work in the morning. I could see in their face, it was like, we'd go from like, oh, I gotta go work in the morning. And then it was just like, and I'm like, why? Call out sick tomorrow. Make something up. Enjoy this moment we got here. So I was like, whatever I do has to have that balance of, if I feel like my soul's depleted, I'm gonna go recharge.
Yeah.
And I have the ability to do that. I'm not obligated to be there all the time. And you are in most, but acting has this, it can be, you do get free time, which is amazing too, because then you get to build on yourself and you get all this time to pick up more stuff that you like. So it's just like you're just charging yourself up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really, and because I liked it as a kid, I was like, what can we do that marries all these things? And it was like a light bulb. I went, acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that voice was like that too, like a light bulb.
That's incredible.
It sounded like my voice.
Probably was.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know, because at the time I said it was God. I still believe that.
Yeah.
But it came in the form of like
Like
my voice. And maybe it's been so long that I can't
Might be like
really
your higher
remember
self
it.
or
I
something
remember it, but as times go on, the memory kind of changed a little bit, but I'll never forget the moment, man. It was clear as day. I was like,
That's it.
yeah. And
That's
that was
incredible.
it from there, that changed, man.
Yeah, because you could have carried on.
Yeah,
it
and
would've
I
been a
remember there was a
completely
time
different path.
2-3 years down the line where it got hard with money. And for a moment I thought about going back, and I tried. The game changed, bruv. I changed because I had something to lose. Before, I was
just fearless.
doing madness and
Whatever.
it was normal.
Yeah.
I had something that wasn't even a tenth of the danger, and I was like sweating bullets. And I was like, oh, I can't do this no more. Like, this is mad.
Yeah.
And I had something to lose. And that's what I noticed. When I had nothing to lose, I didn't care about myself. The moment I had something to lose, every decision changed. All the silly things that you would have done and not thought twice over was, oh, no, I'm not doing that. Are you crazy? No, I have a purpose now. So, I feel like a lot of the guys who come from our background and the ends and that, it's just, bare man are talented.
So
just
much.
the purpose is,
Purpose,
they
yeah.
need to find their purpose. And
Yeah.
sometimes you need to find it. Because I remember sitting there and being like, what can I do? If you ask the question
Asking
and
the right
you're listening,
questions. Yeah.
you have to be listening as well as you know. It will give you answers, man.
Yeah.
It will give you steps. It might not be where you end up.
It might not be the answers that you're expecting either.
Yeah, not for real.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. To have that self-awareness.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
really good.
I'm just grateful, man. I didn't even realize it was self-awareness until I've got older now.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, oh, I'm so thankful.
Seriously.
Yeah, such, because I don't know why, but I always ask myself why. Everything that happened, I'm like, why? Why'd that happen? Why'd they say that? Where'd that come from? I just couldn't help it. I'd just go, why? And then sometimes I'd find like pretty insightful things that I would come to and be like, oh, they're just doing that because of, or this is just happening because of. So kind of as I learned, as I got older, I was, oh, you were searching in yourself. And you read some of these books that say, the key to, it's just figuring out yourself, man. Being comfortable, being at one with yourself, and especially growing up with this yin and yang of amazing, spellbinding life
Yeah.
to like, some darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sometimes that darkness you can feel like is a part of you. And then through soul searching and all those things there, you find out that, oh no, I just inherited some stuff that, was holding me down. And it was literally like chink,
Yep.
chink, slowly just taking off armor. And I'm still doing it. It's still going to be a long journey, but it feels amazing, man. It really does, because you let go of things that was like, you find things torturing you, changing your way of thinking, your perceptions, your goals. That's not even you.
No.
You picked up from environment, the news, teachers, parents, uncles, friends. Yeah, kids are so impressionable. So impressionable. Like that's one thing I learned growing up older is the beauty in the innocence of kids. And we have to protect that, man. Like the innocence of kids has to be protected, man, to the fullest, because that is, the future's the kids for real, man.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure, because we can do work and we can build on it, but imagine a blank canvas that you could just give all the right things to for them to grow in the optimal settings, the right soil, the right sunlight, you can get the best damn plant you've ever seen in your life. Like, that's what it's about, man. And it's, we've learned more. The generations, technology. I don't blame any old generations for the way they are. They, they survived and we've improved. We're evolving. But it's on us now
as we're supposed to.
Yeah. And it's on us now to take the next step, man. Just be a better version of ourselves every day. That's fun.
Yeah.
Who don't want to do that? That makes every day exciting. To me, anyway. I'm like, I'm going to be a better version than yesterday.
Yes, exactly. And you've got that sense of purpose as well, like beyond yourself, so it makes it a bit bigger. So when you wake up, you know what your immediate purpose is, but there's a grander purpose there as well.
Yeah,
And that kind of brings you through the kind of peaks and troughs of
no,
life
it
as well.
really does, man. Because
Yeah.
we use that. Because when we're down, we use that. I have the purpose. No, I know what I'm here to. And that pulls us out.
Exactly.
But we have to be our own. I just find this from me. A lot of the time, I had to be my own self-motivator. Because the journey gets hard. The first 2 years, because it took about 10 years before I could say, I'm earning from my career now.
Yeah.
It was dribs and drabs. I never really earned anything that I could live off for about 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah. But I wouldn't change it for the world.
Nope.
Oh, man, I wouldn't change it for the world. I mean, I don't know if I'd go back and do 10 years now. But you know what? I wouldn't even say that, because if there was another 10, do you know the lessons and...
It shapes you.
It really did, man. And it was exactly how I wanted, because I was specific when I put out what I want and how I want my career to go. I was very specific. And because I'm just on the start, I'm not going to say much until we do this next one 10 years later. I'm like, yes, that or whatever.
100%.
But yeah, I was very specific. I knew what I wanted. And that helps. It really helps. And that come from as well, is just digging deeper in myself and finding what I want, what I like, what's me.
So you were talking about 2009. That's when you got your first credited role, right?
Yeah, I think that was...
Was that in the UK or over here?
UK.
Wow.
Wait, yeah, UK. So I did what was it? Yeah, 2009, Gun Rush.
Gun Rush.
It was
yeah.
an extra, that and some, that and so independent movie called Snub. I won't even forget it. Yo, that was crazy, man. I'm just thinking, I ain't thought about it in a minute. That's how I'm getting all
was it?
these
Yeah,
memories down. I'm like, damn. Yeah, no, that was Gun Rush. I was an extra, but
Yeah.
it was nice because we was in this gang, and it was you know, you had Emil Amin who's been doing great
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Bronson Webb, he was doing great stuff. All of them. I mean, oh, I know his name. Don't Riley Ritchie. Was that
Riley
his?
Ritchie, yeah,
Is
yeah.
that his real name? Was that his
That's his
stage?
artist name,
Jacob Anderson. Something like that.
yeah.
Yeah, he was in it. All those guys were in it.
Ah.
And I was like one of their crew members. But they were, I mean, I learned so much, man.
Exposure.
Just from being on the first, like being on the set. Then I was able to see and experience the hours, and I just knew it was for me. And it was nice, man. 'Cause that was 2-9, and then there was slowly the smallest dribs and drabs, but I couldn't make a full change. I didn't know at the time, but I got the opportunity to do this thing, iPop, over here, which was like a presentation
Yeah.
in front of loads of managers and stuff, and they flew over some people from England, and the school was American, so we'd compete with American people. So, you know, I got to meet some managers, some cool people, and one of the managers there was like, you have to move over here. And luckily,
Said that there and then.
yeah, luckily that we was able to do that, and that changed everything, man, because I was a very family friends orientated person. So coming away allowed me just to focus on just the one, no distractions.
Yeah.
And I was able to go back into martial arts hard. I was training on acting. I remember my days I used to love it. The days was literally gym, martial arts, acting every day. Gym, martial arts, acting, training, martial arts, acting,
So training.
training, martial arts, acting. Every forms of training I could do. I was just doing it every day. I was like, this is my curriculum. This is my school. And I was doing that for years and just kept doing it. And I loved it. Really did love it. But if I was at home, that would have been harder. Because some of those days I'd have been like, we've done a week. Let's go hang out with the boys. We ain't seen them in a while.
You've got loads of
Whereas
distractions.
I didn't have that. Yeah. And it worked out really well. Yeah.
That's brilliant, man. So moving to you was 21 at the time, right?
Yeah, 20. I had my 21st birthday the night that everything kind of went. It was crazy, man. It was a great night. Ended up, you know, doing really well. And it was my 21st birthday. I remember being at this bar, turning 21, and you can't drink in LA until.
Yeah.
So it was like, I had a glass of champagne. My dad was there, my mum was there. We was in this nice hotel, and it was nice, man. It felt like, for me, it was another big catalyst, and like, you know, you get to new levels, and there's new catalysts, and new places you want to go, and that was like, I felt like I'd reached the next step there, even though I thought it was going to be a bit quicker. It filled me with something that I could always go back to, because when it got darker in the future, I would look back and be like, nah, this happened, that happened, it's gonna happen. Just keep going. So those things really did help, man. But yeah, I was to turn 21 in there, man. Yeah.
Crazy. And you came over, but you was very specific about what you wanted as well. So that must have been like laser focused.
Yeah, I weren't really into it, because I mean, I grew up breakdancing, so we'd get paid to go to clubs to breakdance, but my crew was older than me. So I was 16 and all of them were 18, 19, but they would let me in and say, you can't drink,
Right.
just dance. So I saw the whole club vibe from 16 and was there for a couple of years. So by the time I got to the time where it was time to club, I was like,
I can't be bothered to do
I'm
that.
over it.
Yeah.
And then when I came out here, I just wasn't interested in that side of it. Yeah, I still went out. I still had fun, but rarely.
Yeah.
Because it had less interest in me. And that's no knock to the club scene. Like I said, balance. That is nice sometimes to go out and let loose and have that fun.
But also, it's like when you first start training, like exercise, like it's difficult when you start. But once you get past that, there's a certain threshold you get past, and you start to get a bit addicted to it. You enjoy it. You enjoy the training. You're not supposed to, but something switches and you start enjoying it. So your routine of gym, martial arts, acting, training, with your goal in mind as well, must have been fun. And that's like almost more rewarding than going to the club.
Yeah. No, it's true. Because you're so right, man. It's like, you know, you start on a front kick and eventually when you're doing back hook kicks and tornado kicks, and like you do, it's like a drug, man. It's like the improvement is, it's like each level is like a new rush. And there was no way for me to do that in the club. What I did 5 shots yesterday, we're gonna do 6 shots today.
Exactly. I
don't handle drink well anyway,
success.
so
Yeah.
it kind of just forced me, and not forced, but it was kind of a natural decision because I'm not much of a drinker. I do enjoy occasionally then, but I was so much of a lightweight.
Yeah.
And I don't like not being in control fully. So a drink
Yes.
never really appealed to me. Like I had vertigo as a kid, so it used to the room would just spin.
That's the worst.
So yeah, when I got drunk, I was like, "Yo, this is what y'all get drunk for? I am not with this. No, this is just taking me back to PTSD, man. I'm vertigo all over again. Got me calling for mum in the club so she come put wet flannel on my head, cuz." Calling some random girl mama. And I'm not your mama. You want to be my mama?
That is jokes. That is funny. But yeah, talking about your rigorous physical discipline, like you've got belts in martial arts and all of that. Just in relation to what you were saying as well, like almost like unlocking achievements. I believe how you do anything is how you do everything. And, you know, what you're achieving in your physical world, like your physical like training world, you must then apply like, oh, this thing that I was trying to learn was so difficult, but I did it. So that must translate to you acting like this. This part that I'm reading for is really difficult, but because you've achieved in the physical sense, that must translate.
Yeah. You know what's so funny, bro? What did you just say a minute ago?
How you do anything is how you do everything.
Like, ooh, you be saying so much stuff, man. This whole time on the trip, man. Yeah. Hey, Ghost. We can hear
Of course. Ghost had to get his little quote.
Ghosties, man.
Ghosties.
Keep it down, cuz. Keep it down, Jamaican Husky.
the one and only.
The one and only Jamaican Husky. The only husky I know that will lay out in the sun.
In it, right. Someday.
And beg man for some curry goat and that. No, it's true. That what you said is beautiful, though. Say that, what is that again?
How you do anything is how you do everything. So if you're like...
Which relates to how you train is how you...
Yeah.
I heard a guy say that to me in Muay Thai the other day. It was like... Because sometimes when I would train with people, you know, you hold back. But then it's also good to train how you would fight. Because you can't expect to do something that you haven't somehow... Sometimes there's innate stuff in you, but certain things, when the training's there at that consistent level, you can tap into. Yeah, the talent, your talent is you can... but training enables you to just, whenever you need it, it's there.
On tap.
Yeah. So that's what martial arts gave to me that I didn't understand. My dad, who was a huge advocate, used to be like, it's all this stuff, it gives you discipline.
Yeah.
And as I was first doing it, I didn't quite get that part of it. It wasn't till years down the line where I was like, whoa, I'm not afraid to take on a 10-year journey. It's going to take me 5 years to get a black belt. It's going to take me dedication every day. I'm not afraid. I have to train every day. It became easy. Whereas at first it was like, whoa, I've got to learn all of that.
Right.
Now it's second nature. Now I'm like dying to pick up new stuff, new skills. And I don't care if it takes 20 years.
The journey.
Yeah. So like I started in Taekwondo, which took me longer to get my black belt anyway, because I was going backward and forward from England studying here. So what took other people like 3 years, took me 6. Yeah, but then that helped as well, because at first it was like the universe teaching me patience.
Yes.
Because I was like, I want my black belt, and it was just like, nope, and then eventually I was just like, I'll get it when I get it, and then that just changed everything.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, because there was a lot of stuff I had to, my man wants some water, boy. He don't care about no interview, nothing. It's like, someone fill up the damn thing.
Buduf.
Hey, long face, come say hello. Come here. You stush little boy. Come here. Come say hello.
What's the last thing we were saying?
Martial arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that it definitely gave me discipline, man. I got to thank my dad for that, because when we moved out here, he came with me to help me settle, and we walked past the martial arts studio, and he was like, "You should start that again." And I was like, all right, cool. I'll go in. I went in and, bro, I know, Ghost, I know. Man's heard the story too many times.
He's like, oh, again. You're telling them
Yeah,
again?
oh my God. He's like, I'm going outside. I had enough of this. I'm gonna hit the block. No, yeah, my dad, listen, take him out now. Let him out. Ghosties, go out. Yeah, it was my dad, man. He was the one who said go and do that. And then I met Master Kim, who's been like, bro,
Blessing.
just, yeah, man, just an absolute blessing on so many fronts. He was almost like another father figure, you know. I remember so many times where he wouldn't even notice. I remember one time we were sitting, and it was me, him, and Master Mendy, and we're sitting there, and we're sitting on the floor, and we're eating Korean food in the dojo, the dojang. Bro, I was like, wow. Like, I'm sitting on the floor with the Korean guy, Filipino guy, we're breaking bread, learning martial arts. It was
You're
like,
on the journey.
I get goosebumps now. Like, you know when you watch them kung fu movies, and not even kung fu, any of those movies, martial arts movies, whatever, when you're younger and you see these things, and I'm like, what? I got my Miyagi fam, like, you know?
Honestly, but also the fact that you've gone on a journey, like this ain't in London.
Yeah.
So you've gone on a journey, you found this place, or your dad's found this place.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, go there. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you're
And
just
then,
in one of those.
reading later, I mean, Jem showed me a Will Smith interview, talked about The Alchemist, read The Alchemist, says you get messages from other people, dreams. And I was like, that was a message from my dad.
It was?
Yeah, it was. And then that changed things too, because then I started to look and realize sometimes people tell you stuff that is a message for you, you know, and I feel like I can hear it sometimes now. Like someone would say something, I wouldn't even say nothing to them. I was like, oh, that's a message for me.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's almost like the opposite of what you were talking about before. It's the same, but it's the opposite, where kids are very impressionable, and whatever's happening in and around their lives, they're picking it up and then taking it and then almost like wearing it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's flipping that around, and it's like the same thing, but it's just being aware of what's for you and what's not for you. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I'll take that.
You can pick and choose with and when you know, like, I want the goodness. I want stuff that's gonna enrich my soul, stuff that's gonna better me as a person, more love, more happiness, more, you know, abundance, wealth, all these things, and you're able then to look and be like, oh, that's gonna assist me. That's gonna assist me. So it really can't. Knowing what you want, that helps so much. And then knowing what you want helps when you know who you are.
Yeah.
You know, digging in yourself and finding out who you are.
Amazing.
Yeah, man.
So was that the moment that? Because my next question was, when did you realize that? Whoa, I'm actually in the vision that I've created. Like, this is what I wanted. I may not be all the way there, but I'm here creating the life that
It was weird. I think, remember when I said that, I heard that decision in my head to be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Ever since then, I remember those 2 weeks after then, I'll never forget it. I felt like I was floating, bro. Like, it was unbelievable. I was so happy for those 2 weeks. And because it was a new shift, a new energy shift, I just gave myself this enriching soul, like what I want to do.
Yeah.
And whereas before I didn't have that. So I'm an emotional person. So I was affected by it. And I'd still be happy, but I noticed it was a lot of ups and downs. And I noticed when I followed this, bro, them 2 weeks. Eventually I came back to being normal, but in my head I was like, those 2 weeks, where if I stay true to this and truly follow and want it for the good, that's how my life's going to be, them 2 weeks all the time. And yeah, life's going to be ups and downs, but then you learn how to deal with things in a way that's not going to, you know, be a detriment to you going forward. Because sometimes it's trauma and hard experiences are devastating. And they are. But sometimes we never come back from them or come out of them.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's nothing wrong, and you kind of have to sometimes sit in the waters, feel that. But you have to know, you know, sometimes no one can pull you out but yourself. So I remember hoping someone will pull me out. but sometimes it's impossible for someone to. You have to pull yourself, or you at least have to swim up high enough for someone to be able to grab you. That's what it felt like. I was too deep in, because you just get deeper and deeper and deeper, and then you're too far to reach. But I felt like as I kind of learned that, if I, help myself, then eventually I got to a point where I saw these people like, you can do this, or come over, and then eventually, I'm at the surface breathing again.
Yeah.
So I feel like with trauma and that, like, life is gonna throw you stuff, and it's all right to go through them, but just know that you have to pull yourself out, or some form of, because it can be, before you know it, you'll be living in that world.
It's true, man. Like, sometimes you need to be tested to realize that you always had the strength to get out of that situation, and you don't necessarily need external factors. Sometimes you need to be put in a situation. It's like, no, you've actually got it.
So true.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I kind of not hated, but I kind of disliked about my personality. Well, I was like, why? Remember Mumsy the saying, if you're not learning, you must feel.
Yeah.
I was like, why do I always have to feel? Why can't I just
Why
learn?
can't I just intellectually get it?
Why can't I heard that 10 times, but it took man to get struck round the face to say, don't take the last dumpling. Like one of them ones there.
Yeah.
So I noticed that with my personality even now. There's stuff where I'm just like, sometimes I have to go through it just to learn.
Yeah.
Which is the...
Well, like you said, like when you was when you wanted to be a doctor, like the way you learn is through feeling, through actually doing the action, right? So in that sense, that is going to be the way you're going to learn.
I think that as well, because the beauty of where we're at now is with technology, with all these things that we're able to, you can just type something in and we can research any subject. And they never had that before. And there was a stricter school curriculum on a way of working. No humans are the same. We're snowflakes, man. Everyone is different. So how is everyone meant to learn from that regime?
Yeah. It makes no sense.
Makes no sense. Because I had my brother, who they would call dyslexic and can't read, but built a studio, made a transmitter, and had a pirate radio station from the house.
Yeah.
Like, he was reading the manual, and I would hear him. He looked like he was struggling, but he built the thing. With music, he would read in the manuals because he loved it. It was so easy. He built a full studio. They said he couldn't read. So there was so many friends that I had that would... another one of my friends, he was in school and they were, he was always considered dumb because he couldn't get certain things. Man's a musical genius.
Yeah.
He never had to read music. He knows how to read music now. He would just listen and play. So it's like, I feel like sometimes the school curriculum can be
detrimental.
Yeah.
It really tries to
because then I remember,
pigeonhole you.
because I remember coming out and being like, I didn't get a good grade in that. So
therefore,
like, I love history, but I failed it. I love history, and I'd like to think that I know some stuff about it. But then I was like, that's your curriculum of history and the way you're grading it as to why a man's failed. But when I was over here with some other history scholars having a conversation about other history, because we know history is written by the ones who won, so there's all different types of history out there. It's just which one's true. But then in these other realms, it's like, I actually have great points here. So I feel we're too quick to put people in boxes, pigeonholes, and all because of these... Like, I really feel that school system needs updating, man. Big time.
Big time.
Yeah, people learn differently, man. And we got to a place now where we're able to study the mind, psychology, energy waves, all these wonderful things. And we need to start implementing it. Yeah, man.
For sure. Impact's definitely a thread within you, I think. We'll pick up on that in a bit. Obviously, from the UK and you live here, a lot of people fantasize just in the creative world about leaving wherever they're doing or just quitting their jobs or whatever and then coming out to, let's say, LA, New York, London, like the big spots, or Paris if you're in fashion, for example. What's it actually like being a working actor? What's the reality of it? Because, I mean, I've seen it. I've seen the work that goes behind it, but people wouldn't necessarily get that from other people's Instagrams or things like that. Because obviously everybody posts their highlights and stuff, but not necessarily the reality. What's the work?
Not the Tyrese.
Yeah.
No one posted Tyrese. Man's crying.
Oh, yeah.
You know, people usually keep that one.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. No, like, what's it like that?
Yeah, what's like the reality of being here as a working actor?
Oh, it's amazing, man.
Yeah.
It really. Then again, like, we had a conversation when you came. I was like, LA is what you make it. It's what you want. Like, what you want from this place, you will get from this place. I've had friends who enjoy having fun. They have fun. I have friends who want to study. You know, they enjoy studying. I have friends who want to travel the coast and surf and do all of that. You can do that. This place, the beauty of it is, it's what you want to do. So I was so lucky to know exactly what I wanted to do, that nothing could sway me. So I kind of knew and looked for everything I wanted, and that just expanded and expanded and expanded. So I basically built the life that I want. Exactly. Like, to the T. And some of these things have only hit me recently, because it's only the past 3 years that it kind of took off, and in the eyes of, you know, whoever, they'll be like, oh, it started being a success from then.
Yeah.
So only certain things I'm realizing now, and I was like, yo, I was able to shape my life exactly how I wanted. And I don't mean that in a
Clear
selfish
intention.
way. I don't mean that in, you know, oh, it's everything I want, and because some of my wants are still for my people.
Yes.
Like, I want to help people. I want to give you a dream. I want to inspire you, just like you do to me. You know, some of my boys don't even realize, like, they're not even, some of them won't consider themselves to be doing much, but they'll say a certain thing, and I'm like, man, your courage inspires me, man. Like, the way you was not afraid of the ends or anyone, and anyone would talk to you, and like, there was characteristics that inspired me that I took and added to my dream. So there's inspiration everywhere, and I love that, man. That's something that, you know, coming out here, and I knew what I wanted, is what I'm probably trying to say.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like, having
I
clear
mean, you've
intention.
experienced it.
Yeah.
You've been there these last 2 weeks. You knew exactly what you want, and I've just seen you and Cuz Jem coming back every day, like every single day, from waking up in the morning to. But you've had a long time
Yeah.
to spend going through the motions, you know, at your dream, to really knowing what you want, and now you've come here knowing what you want,
Yep.
and it's just giving. It's there.
Yeah, it's that door's opening.
And not that you didn't work, man, put in hard grind. Yeah? State that for the camera. It's not
Hard
overnight
grind.
thing, hard grind.
Hard grind. Hard grind.
Yeah, but when you're able to do that and know what you want, it's so much easier, man. Because someone will come up and, like, I remember having friends be like, oh, let's go and do this. And I'll be like, that's fun, and I know you lot are going to have fun, but that's not for me. I respect you lot, though. I want to see the pictures.
Yeah.
But it's not for me.
Yeah.
So I'm still, incredibly supportive. I try. Because I remember I was studying an acting technique, and one of the main things is you cannot judge a character. You can't play a person if you're judging them.
Right.
So you have to walk in their shoes fully to understand why they make the decisions. So you have to let go of stuff that you wouldn't do, or it's totally against your morals, just to understand.
Right.
And it's crazy what you come to sometimes, because sometimes you play
Villains.
murderers.
Yeah.
And there's some people, there's all different types of story, but there's some of them that don't even know why they're doing it. And I'm not here sticking up for anyone. I'm just saying, there's like, if everyone tried to walk in someone else's shoes, the world would become a better place real quick. Because when you're able to come out of your reality in your realm and walk in someone else's shoes for a while and really understand why they make decisions and where it comes from, it blew my mind, man.
It's empathy.
Yeah.
It's empathy,
Yeah, it blew
man.
I found myself, don't get me wrong, there's some acts that were so horrible, but seeing how it started and where the person come from, was like, oh my God, they grew up like that. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't even know what that was like. So then there's
What kind of person would you be if you was in
so
that
then I
situation?
think there's, instead of punishment, we need to focus more on rehabilitation or helping before stuff. I mean, punishment, still some cases you need these things. But I feel we don't.
It's just like a brushing under the carpet. It
and
doesn't address the
rehabilitation is
actual
like,
issue.
I'm rehabilitated. Some of the stuff I was doing, I might have not been here. I know you got stories too. So I was able to take that and rehabilitate myself to now to be someone that I feel is going to have impact to especially people from where we're from, everyone. But I'm trying to, I'm just trying to inspire, whatever.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't given that opportunity, if I had got arrested, if I had got any of these things, done.
Yeah.
And then once you go in the system, you're seen as something. So then it's just like, instead of seeing like, wait, he could have made a mistake. This guy's got gems. Let's see what we can get out of him. And everyone, my boy, when I left, one of my best friends, when I left and we were kind of like, whatever you want to call it, partners in crime.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this stuff to glorify it. I'm saying it because I want people from our background, from the hood and all of those things to see like, yo, there is avenues even later at life. Like even when you think it's done, it ain't done. It's the mindset. That woman who was 80 something years old who's now in Black Panther. It's the mindset.
That was her first role.
And I feel like we think that that's for us because of society, because of the way everything. Yeah. So that is a huge thing for me, is reaching the guys who, because I was there. You was there. We were standing up on the corner and didn't really have much avenues or anything, but inside we had this deep dream that we didn't even know or how to do it.
It's a confusing time. Definitely, like late teens. That kind of, you're trying to earn money, like you said, and there's so many different avenues that are presented to you. I'm so glad that your inner voice told you to kind of leave the casino when you was up. In that sense,
yeah.
It's like, yeah, you done. You're all right.
Take
now.
your money and run.
That's it, man. But you did, which was good.
Yeah.
Wow. Just to move on to some of like the shows you've worked on.
Yeah.
Well, firstly, did you imagine that you'd be on like shows that mean so much to a lot of people, like Have and Have Nots, Queen of the South, Shadowhunters, with the amazing fans that all those shows have?
Bro, even saying that right now, I'm just. It makes me so happy, man.
Yeah.
Yo, I am so grateful, man. Like I said, I kind of knew what I wanted, so I'd put things out there,
Right.
but I didn't specifically know it was that.
Sure.
But I knew what I wanted. Then when these things came after, I was like, wow, look how that manifested. It did, man. I was able to, those 3 shows and Ill Manners too, it's just been...
Yeah.
Even Wasteman Diaries, the pilot, I've just had to work with fun people, fresh, innovative, new, and then such a vast fan base, different styles of people.
Yeah.
But I have to pinch myself so many times. When people come up to, like, every now and then when someone comes up, there's times where I'm like, what do you want? And they're like, you're on that show. I was like, oh yeah, I am on a show, innit? Because it happened so late.
Yeah.
I remember after Ill Manners, I was so not used to it, because you just know you're used to the ends mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
So I remember one time we was at this gas station. No, it was a club with my brother. Of course it was a club with my brother. Shout out to the Sean Sego.
Shout out to Sean.
Yeah. No, he was at this club and this guy was across the thing, and bruv, man was just bugging, man, for time. He was just staring. And I was like, I'm not the type to, but I'm like, all right, either he's going to start something or so I literally walked over and was like, do you have a problem, bruv? And he was like, do you have a problem? One of them stupid ones. Nah, bruv, I asked you first. One of them. Then 2 minutes later, a man come back over and was like, are you in a film? And I was like, I swear down, I was like, bruv, I'm so sorry. I forgot I was in it. Like, I literally wasn't used to.
Yeah.
I just thought it was old school. If man staring at you, man, have to puff out the chest and.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a. I felt so bad, man. I was like, what a douche. But I mean, it was.
But
like,
that's what it's better to learn then. Than
no, for real. But that was a big eye opener, man. It was the adjustment out of that into.
Crazy.
Which is true, man. Like us people, one of my friends posted something the other day, and I feel like brothers and us people, like, we're so quick to not say hello to another brother, or to be like, where it's like, bruv, all that stuff is madness. That's your brother, man. Say wagwan, loose that thing, man. There's no need for, like, that's one thing I never understood, was even when I was involved in it, I loved my mum and my family so much, and I saw my friends and other people who loved their family, and so no matter what was going on the roads, and I was like, if I ever had a problem with someone, I'd never want to take them away from there. I'm old school. Let's have a punch up in the park, who wins, wins. Is what it is. Unfortunately, not many people thought like that anymore.
No.
But I just wouldn't have got it because I was just like, that's not yours to take away. You know? Like, his mum gave him that life. Just because you lot had the qualms on the street, that's not yours to take away. You know, if you're a real G, you offer man out for a swingers, you swing it out, you say you won, it's done. No repercussions, no coming back with 10 man, none of that. A real person who is, you know, confident in himself, and that to me is a real, because I feel like it became stupid, man. It really did.
Has.
It became stupid. And it's like,
It's got out of hand.
yeah, it's just got out of hand. And I'm like, it needs to go back to the realness, man. Old school. You remember when, you know, like in Friday, my man said we settled it with these.
Yeah.
Put them up, man. And I'm not, you know, talk it out before you can do that. But sometimes with men, especially younger, hot heads happen, especially as kids.
Definitely.
And like taking it, come on, man. I just feel like, I mean, rehabilitation and not like some of those, a lot of them, man, there's still potential. Yeah.
Man, there's potential that's just
crazy
lost.
potential, man.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying. But I mean, this is part of why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, showing people that there are different ways. You know, if you see it, you can be it in that sense.
Yeah.
So that's why it's our responsibility
Yeah,
to do
man,
what
the
we're
Nas tune. I know
So
I
it's
can't be what I want to be.
exactly.
Hey, Tonesies, Game of Tonesies. This is Tonesies. I knew I was going for it. Tonesies. Yeah, everyone says my singing voice only has one tone, so
Yeah, so it's a
Game
nice
of Tones.
deep tone, boy.
The baritone thing.
Baritone. But talking about see it, be it. What is it like? So you're on Have and Have Nots, and you have an example in Tyler Perry, who's come from a very, very difficult background. Started writing and directing plays, and then sleeping in the back of his car. You're now casted on his show that he's written, produced, and directed, and you've got the confidence of someone like that who is a genuine, like, mega force in Hollywood. What was that like? And like, what kind of lessons have you learned from that whole experience that you keep with you?
So much. He's a wonderful guy, man. Honestly, like, he is real talk. Someone who's trying to help the people. He, I mean, because when I met him, he gave, I mean, in America, that was my first significant role. So, you know, he gave me my first real breakout here. And that, just the mindset from that was a catalyst.
Yeah.
You know, and he opened up his stories in his life too, because he was 28, like you said, 28. And when I met him, I was 28.
Oh, no way.
So he was like, oh, I see what age you are there. And I was like, so I knew there was a lot of stuff to learn from him. And he's a very, very wise, empathic man. Like, hello, mate, what you doing out here? Yeah, no, he, very, very insightful, very wise, just a good human. Yeah, I've seen him literally, because, you know, you don't know. With this industry, you hear so many things about everyone, you know?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
People probably hear shit about me, so you never know. So I always go in, you know, just open. And he was truly terrific, bro. Like, just everyone, though. Everyone on the set. You know, to girls, to guys, to everyone. Just uplifting, man. You know, and trying to provide everyone a platform. And really with me, which was nice, is a lot with dudes as well, toxic masculinity. And guys, that is just bred into us. And I feel like we're coming into a point now where we're like, yo, we need to address this because it's some madness. It's the reason for half of our problems.
It's true.
It's toxic,
Pride, man.
Yeah. So it was nice because I've never really been, you know, I had that. But as I got older, I realized this is kind of holding me back from expressing.
It's not useful.
Yeah, so I was naturally very expressive. So around some of my friends, I found friends who wanted to be like that too. So we developed these great bonds, and I noticed that in him. So he was obviously more advanced at it because he lived a longer life, and he would tell me stuff that I was like, whoa, game changers.
Right.
Just in myself. stuff where I was standing in my self-way. That's why I said I'm not perfect. I'm still here every day. I'm still trying to get stuff
Still
better.
training.
Yeah, like I still say some stuff where I'm like, whoa, wait, where's that come from? And then I figure it out and I'm like, okay. So sometimes you have to be wrong to be right. Like for me anyway. But he was so insightful and so on a soul level, like on a bettering of you.
Yeah.
How you feeling? How you doing? That I feel like with men is lacking. Because I had that with some of my boys growing up. We were just naturally, it was the funniest story, man. One time we was all standing outside the store. The store, the shop.
The shop.
The shop, fam. Yeah, man, standing outside the shop, cuz. So we're standing outside there, and we were talking about a subject that we're not going to say on here, but I could see, I was like, everyone's trying to confess, but no one wants to be the first one.
Right.
One man said it, the whole group said it. Next minute it was like, you didn't know! Like, changed the whole, and even from then we became more about like, you weren't scared to say certain things like, I like this, I like that. And it was like, oh, what, really? No, it was beautiful. But because I was lucky to have friends that were open too, and we were the older ones, so the younger ones were able to see that, so they naturally came in and started to be a bit more open, because we're open, so they didn't have to hide stuff. But when you see the older guys, your influences like, bruv, that's not for the, then you can be like, so that was nice. And then I noticed that with him was like getting to this level in acting, like being like a younger, and coming to the block with the older now, and he's like, this is the way how we operate our block. And that's exactly how I want to operate. Yeah. So it was like, oh my God, give me all these lessons, all these teachings.
But also a bit like, was it Mr. Kim, your trainer in martial arts?
Yeah.
So who's your acting Mr. Kim?
And it's so funny you say that, because I found in different places and scenarios, different teachers and exactly what I asked for.
Definitely.
But at the time, sometimes you don't see it because we're in the way of ourselves, we based our goal on, I based a lot of my goals at the start, based my happiness on the success, on the goals. And it wasn't till I lost everything and went back to England, had that issue with my passport where I got stuck, where I was like, wait, man's lost everything, nothing's going on, but I'm happy. I laugh with my friends every day, like tears, we'd cry in tears. There's food on the table, family loves me, still have fun, still go out sometimes, even though, because we have people that, even if you didn't have money, they were like, listen, come, enjoy yourself. So I was happy, I'm happy. It changed so much stuff, because I wasn't, because then I wasn't basing it on, when I get this first role, I'll be happy. I remember I watched a documentary one time. It was talking about happiness in American football players and how, especially sports, football players, especially as it's done, they worship like gods for years, and then for it to just all disappear when you're done, like that psychologically, that energy that they get is gone. So if you have based your, it's hard if that's your whole life and that's your happiness is playing, you're going to be. Because I was the same. My happiness was playing on the field, And if I had continued to live that way, by the time if I didn't have nothing else when I retired, I wouldn't know what to do. Man. But then when I talked about placing your happiness elsewhere, like in relationships, and being like, wow, my mum and dad have a great relationship. And health. Happiness, health. Yeah. And just being gratitude changed a lot. And we come from a grateful, Caribbean people and Guyanese, and we're very grateful people. Our parents always remind us of those things, so it was easy to transition into that. But it's unbelievable how powerful gratitude is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Can you share that Oprah story?
Yeah. It was my first day on the Habs. I think it was like the second or third scene. It was a love scene.
It was your first day?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I think it was pretty much my first day. Well, my first, big day. It was a love scene. And we were, so we were doing the scene. And it had finished. It went well. And I was like, shirtless. I was like, trust me, the first time for me to meet Oprah.
Shirtless.
Because I'm getting, I've turned around and I'm getting back changed up. I'm talking to Tico. We're laughing, bro. I was like, why did the room just go quiet? But I didn't like turn around. I was still like, and I looked and I was like, right. Tika's like, was she just staring at? I turned around. I was like, oh my! You could just feel it, man. And it wasn't like it was a good feeling. Everyone was happy to see her.
Right.
But
the room changed.
Yeah, man, you felt it.
Yeah.
So then she came out and she was saying hello because it was the first in the new studio. So TP had moved to the new studio, which was phenomenal.
Where is that?
It's in Atlanta, but he'd moved from one place to another. And it's magnificent, man. So inspirational.
What's it called again?
Tyler Perry Studios. But that building we worked in was the Dream Building.
The Dream Building.
Yeah. And it had all the sets in there, everything. But it was sick, man. It's like family, bro. You know our house, so you know it's the same. We're family, so it was like that. It was like stepping into that.
That's mad.
Yeah, and then so when she came in, TP was introducing. You know, she went up to Tika because she knew her, and then it was like, oh, this is Nick. He's the coming. And then at first she was like, oh, nice to meet you. And I was like, oh my days, man's like half Nick. So then she left. I thought she left. We continued doing the scene, and then she came up after and was like, wow, like, I really enjoyed the scene. And it was like a love scene. I was like, man, Oprah saw me making love. Yo.
You got an Oprah scene.
Yeah. And then I was clothed this time, but I got a nice little hug, and yeah, man, it was unbelievable, man. Coming where we come from to have, Tyler and her in the same room.
What? And being backed by them, like.
Yeah, wow. Man. Yeah, no.
What did that feel like? Like afterwards, it must have just been.
No, for real. I hold it. I hold him in very, very high esteem, man. Because he brought me to that table there, so I would never have been in that situation if he didn't open the door. And it was magnificent. It was life changing, And I really credit him and thank him for that, because what relatively to other people would have seemed like, oh, it's late in his career to give him a shot at like 28. He was like, it's perfect time and you're in a great position. Like, it just filled me with all of this that just made me go,
breath of fresh air. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing with acting as well. And this is what I tell people, like, no matter what age you are, especially in acting, because actors represent real life. In real life, you don't just have 23-year-olds. You have fathers, you have mothers, you have grandparents, you have uncles, aunts. Like, all those people need to be represented on screen, big, small, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like Guyanese, right? Exactly. So you kind of owe it. You owe it to storytelling, to if you want to act or if you want to write or whatever, to do it at whatever age, because your experience is unique and your look is unique, and that's what needs to be.
Your story is unique.
Your story is
We're
unique.
Snowflakes, man.
Yeah.
Every man's different.
Yeah, and that needs to be
we
shown.
We all got fingers and toes, but my boy's fingers over there are way different from mine. His thumb's on a madness. But that's the beauty, though. Everyone's different, man. Everyone has their own story to tell, and even every form of artistry, like writing. As you get older and really start to live so many stories. I hear people tell me stuff. I'm like, write that.
Yeah.
Are you mad?
Yeah.
Like, everyone those seeds are there, and it's hard because we sometimes think you have to go through this curriculum to become that. Mm-hmm. It's not always like that, because with acting, in England it was you have to go to drama school, and don't get me wrong, the drama school system is phenomenal. I have friends that are just phenomenal people, wonderful actors and actresses. It wasn't for me. I went another way. And it was, while I was going that way, I used to think, I'm not as respected because I don't do that. And you're not a real actor because you didn't do that. And I was like, wait, no, because one person invented a system which really is, I'm hard to articulate it, but.
I know what you mean. Though.
Yeah.
There are many different ways.
Because I did the same thing and I'm standing in the same place, doing the same thing. And feel as trained and as prepared as they were. Mm-hmm. And I respect it. I really do. Like, I love that. I wanted to. I just spent so much time in school and studying stuff. I went in, I did a university thing, something in university. I picked a subject where I started studying stuff I didn't even want to learn. So I was like, I don't want to do that again, man. I just want to pick what I want to learn for
Yeah.
now because I'm fed up, and it helped me. So it's about knowing what's for you, man. Really soul search what's for you and then plan your assault. And then just be open because it's going to change. But if you're open and you know what you want, you'll see when it's there. Sometimes you see it after and you're like, oh my.
It's true.
Yeah.
Man. It's true. Yeah, having that purpose is so key.
Yeah, man.
Asking the right questions, listening for the answers, and accepting what works for you, what doesn't, and really, just going full throttle, but with that purpose and intent, and that's when things like Oprah and Tyler Perry open up to you, because there are almost, in that sense, Tyler Perry would look up to Oprah, and you would look up to Tyler Perry. If you've got aspirations in writing, directing, producing, like ownership, like Oprah is the example for that, even for Tyler Perry in the great position that he's in, so it's just like, you can see the ladder, but that's because he was so intentful and clear and focused. So it's like, all right, well, here's the direct vision. Here's where you can go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also on that topic, so you were in The Princess Switch on Netflix, which is a completely different kind of acting job, because it's a Christmas movie. It's a happy movie. What challenges did you have with that in terms of it being like
the single father sweet man baker?
Yeah. Rolling pin.
Hey, trust that was the roti fingers, bro.
Roti fingers, yeah, see?
See, the roti came behind us rolling marzipan in my head. This is just nothing but roti. Some dal puri,
Yeah.
That was sorry, what did you say? How did you say it?
Like what challenges did you have
in
that role? Like, what did you learn from Vanessa Hudgens as well?
That was another thing as well, learning her way of working, because she's on another level. She's been doing it a long while, and seeing her just grounded, her openness, she was like to everyone, man. The cast, the crew. We was in a foreign country. She was wonderful, just really there for everyone, and she was basically the head of the ship, so it trickled down. So it was fantastic. Honestly, I could say so many good things. I'd be here all day. I was literally in awe of, like, that's how I always wanted to operate going forward.
Love that.
So there was stuff there where I was like, man, yeah, because I'm seeing her at a level that, hopefully one day I aspire to do the same. I'm going to put my work in. And I'm watching, I'm like, hey, you can operate like that. You can be the nice person. You can be, courteous and kind. And yeah, man, I learned a lot from watching. I know professionalism. Bro, she was playing 2 roles in a foreign country on her ones. Like,
yeah, for real.
Killing it. She was flipping between it. Like, whereas we'd have one day, she'd have 2 full days because she's playing 2 characters.
That's right, yeah.
And then she'd have to switch, like literal princess switch, to and go do the hair, come back, switch the side, switch the accent. There's times where she had to do an accent and an accent and an accent on the spot, just like that, off the go. And I was like, yeah, but she was prepared. That there wasn't even a sweat on her face. It was like, wow. So it was inspirational, man. Yeah, all the cast was fun to work with, but I just seeing her level and coming, we've seen it growing up, and she's been on a very high level for a long time. So it just made sense as to why everyone loves her, because she's a great person. Really, man.
That's really good though, because you do hear so many different stories, not about her at all,
no,
just generally, like, coming up, just in anything. You're like these people can be assholes or whatever, and they're like, they don't treat people nice and stuff. So it's just great to hear, like, you've been on set with Oprah, Tyler Perry, Vanessa Hudgens, and these are all people that have treated everybody with respect. They put mad work in. They're super professional, super polite,
and super nice.
So that is the way. Be nice, be professional. Do you know what I'm saying? And
everything nice.
And also, I'd imagine they're peaceful.
Yeah.
Just as people.
That was one thing I noticed. Definitely, man. Definitely. And now you're saying that, I'm thinking of Vanessa more. It's very peaceful. But TP as well. That's one thing I got, man, was just this, like, very peaceful, man. It's calming. It's calming.
It is. And it puts you at ease as well.
Yeah.
Because when someone's peaceful, they're not needing of anything. And, I mean, as up-and-coming creatives, we can our ambitions can kind of take over our peace. And although it's coming from the right place, you can come across quite desperate, quite needy, things like that. And just as humans, no one likes anybody that's desperate or needy in that sense. You know, but when someone's coming with peace and they're coming from that place, it's a lot more, I don't know, just things can naturally happen from there, you know?
It's true as well that you say that. I don't know, I kind of find the career like, I can kind of compare it to the ocean. Because, you know, it's going to, and searching for the goal is like the ocean, because it kind of, we don't control the tide. You know, we don't know what's going to come in. We don't know what the weather's going to be. But we can control how we react to it. And I would notice I was very gung-ho at the start. And like, I'm just going to run, brick wall,
I'm going to kill everybody on the way.
Brick wall, bap.
Yeah.
Or like a wave. I'm just going to run into the wave, And I'm like, yo, eventually you get exhausted. And then sometimes I noticed when the tide was rough, was better like to relax and flow with it, you know, and find and move with the ocean, like Bruce says about being water. And then when you're around someone peaceful, knowing where you are, knowing what's needed, that when you're around someone like that, there's no need to relax. Yeah, and there's all different types of ways that you train yourself to know in scenarios. Okay, what's the tide like today? You know, it's better for me to relax and the tide's going to take me where I'm going. Or it's like, we got the slipstream, like you said in Finding Nemo. Yeah. So we can gung-ho now and we're going to get there even, Or it's like, the waves are coming now. So we got to retreat for a bit. You know, we can't attack them straight. We have to learn to go under them. Because I remember with Uncle Jamesy, man, when we was in Portugal, and this was something that made me kind of compare it to the ocean, because we was out there when we shouldn't have been out there, and the waves were crazy. So I, as a kid, was like, woo, thinking I could hit all of them. And bruv, I went to one of them same way, and it took me, spun me, I swear to you, and slammed me on the floor. I'll never forget it, bruv. I remember getting up, looking over, and me and Uncle James was washed up on the shore. I swear, the waves took him as well. Same thing happened. We was both beat up on the side. My shoulder was hurting. I looked at him, and we was like, what the hell happened there? So when we went back, this other Portuguese boy said to me, stop trying to hit the wave like that. You have to go with it. Even when I can't remember if he said it, the big ones you go under, or there was a way to do it that he told me. And then it became fun again. I was flowing with it again. And it was nice. But when I tried to counteract the flow, I'll never forget the pain. Uncle James, he won't forget the pain, bro. We was both there, like, I was like, Unks, oh my God, what was that?
Yeah.
I swear that.
That's a big lesson, man.
Yeah, no, it was. I remember when I thought of it, like the ocean, that come into my head. Like, I remember having to, when I learned how to deal with the waves, it becoming all fun again. But when I didn't, that one trauma, I wasn't going to go back in the ocean, bro. I was not going to go back in the ocean. If that boy didn't be like, what are you doing, man? I can't remember who told me, but someone told me, was like...
You've always had that kind of Yoda person, like this just pops up and says, lesson. Message. Yeah, message even, yeah. That's good though, man. That's a really good life lesson. Yeah, you do have to go with it, really understand what you're working with or what you're playing with, you know.
Yeah. That's so true, because I didn't understand it. I'm only understanding it now, and I'm just grasping it. This is like grasping, I don't know, a star in the universe. There's millions of them. Like, you know, there's so much out. It's so vast, but just being open makes it more fun, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, makes everything more fun. Yeah.
Sick. Well, I've only got a couple more questions.
Yeah.
Well, I've actually got loads more questions, but I've only got a couple more questions for this. If you were to write and direct and star in a biopic of someone, who would you want to play? Man,
nah, he's one of them. Yeah, I would love to. There's a few, man.
Yeah. Mo Salah? Do you know, I thought of that yesterday. I've been burning to ask you that.
So let's put it out there. Come on. I can ball. I've got a left foot. I was right footed, but I've got a left foot. I would love.
It's acting, man.
Yeah, right. You know, green screen that left foot, man.
I think that'd be sick.
I would absolutely love being a Liverpool fan as well, bro.
Yeah.
He would be one of them. You know what's funny? I like that. Sometimes I get people who tweet me and be like, "Oh my!" Someone said Johnny Mathis, who I didn't really know too much about, and then when I looked at his picture, I was like, "Oh, I can kind of see where that avenue could work there." There's a few of them that I would love. I remember a couple years ago they were writing the Sam Cooke biopic that I got to audition for, and I fell in love with him. Oh my God, his story and bro, to this day, man, to this day, like he's become one of my favorite artists.
Yeah.
And learning of his story, I was like, wow, I would love to portray that. But the thing about those is, I would want it to be true. So if I could, like, I know I reckon, hard work, I could capture the essence. But it will also be, some of these people are very pivotal to their followers, their lovers. So it would have to be out of respect of that.
Yeah.
Not just because, I want to do it, that I'm going to do it.
Sure.
It would have to be like, the people can see it too. So that would it would have to be that. Because I know, like, I love, I know I'm not even going to mention the one that did it, but someone had did one where the people were like, it's not true it wasn't true to the essence of the message that person portrayed.
Right.
So it's like, there's already a disconnect there. So for me, it has to be true to the essence. And if that, yeah. But Mo and Bob?
Yeah, that would be sick. Putting it out there. Exclusive. That'd be dope. Just lastly, so we've gone through a lot of your journey. We probably haven't gone through everything, but knowing what you know now, like being where you are now, if you could go back to speak to Nick when he was 16, last day of secondary school, at that confusing, like, pivotal moment, like, what would you have told yourself?
It's gonna be all right, bro. Relax. Just keep enjoying your life, doing the things you love, staying positive, and relax.
Relax.
Everything's okay.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. That was one of the sickest things TP said to me though, because I had this, you base. He was like, "You're okay. Everything's okay," and I was like, I'm okay. You give yourself these, I need to do this, I need to do that, but then you realize, I'm okay. None of that stuff even really matters, to be honest with you, because if it all disappeared, none of that stuff really does matter.
It's true.
But it's stuff we give ourselves is to, is to live our lives and do all of that. But really, health, love, that's what matters, man. So focus on those things. Still dream, still push hard, but let that be your focus and watch what happens. That would have been, because at 16 it was very like, I have to do this, I have to be this, I have to be successful. I'm not this person. I haven't done this. I failed this exam. I don't quite like this. I don't want to tell my parents this. The stress that kids put themselves through and don't express, because I didn't. I bottled up a lot of stuff. I would love to say, stop bottling, express yourself, be positive, keep dreaming, and be grateful. And that, it sounds so, all the information that changed me is the shit people would call cliche and cheesy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, to the point where I would even say, when I was talking to some people, I don't want to sound cliche. Now I've stopped saying it, because it's, when you watch rom-com and you see the way that some people fall in love and they're like, it's so cliche. No, it's not. It's because humans, if you've been in that situation, sometimes that still happens. I've been in situations where I've said the dumbest, cheesiest movie line. I'm not in the movie.
Yeah.
I've this girl or whatever, it's come out and I've been like, oh my God. Like, I would call that a cliche in a movie, but we really live this. Like, it's, So I think sometimes we have to be careful with words too, is what we dismiss.
Definitely.
Yeah, or
'cause
what
we tend to dismiss anything that's positive. It's like a false humility.
Yeah, like the word coincidence. That can be so detrimental, because I don't believe in too many coincidences. Even if me and you turned up to this interview and we both wore a blue shirt, I was like, nah, we're in sync. There's something I can learn from him. He's similar to me. But there's something's behind these so-called coincidences. And when I started to look at them differently as not coincidences, as signs, changed my life, bro. Yeah. So those are things I would like to, if I could tell that to the younger Nick, and I would love to go back and be able to see, because God, universe, it's always giving you signs. Always, even if you're not paying attention. So I bet if I went back, I would have been like, oh my, here they are, and I didn't even see them. That would be nice to, yeah. But this journey was exactly what I needed for my,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, who knows, in some alternative universe, maybe you did because you heard yourself say, "Look, move away. Just do exactly." Be the actor. That's what you need to do. So maybe you already did do that. Yeah.
No, just need to find that universe.
It's coming, man. It's coming. Well, thank you so much for this,
bruv,
man.
listen, thank you.
I'm sure we're gonna do a part 2.
I just want to say on your thing, yo, when I first saw what you was doing, you already know. But I didn't really. Obviously, I told you, but this platform, what you got here, and the way it's presented, and what you stand for and represent, because I know you, innit, your family, so. It filled me with so much joy, man. It's so inspirational, bro.
Thank you, man.
Like, honestly, there's times where I was laying here and you're in England and I'll be seeing the posts and I'm like, this is so brilliant and true and rich and inspirational and for the good. So it's like, I want to thank you for them platforms there, because this going forward is going to be massive, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, bruv. Definitely. Because it's like, I feel like it's a bit, we're kind of in a society where people want gossip and news, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I love that you're reaching for the richness and the truth.
Depth.
Yeah, and some realness, man. Because that, it's lacking a lot. And things is cycle. Realness are going to come back in like Air Force Ones, So, but no, honestly, I want to thank you because, bruv, I'm truly in awe of this whole platform you got. It's brilliant, and I'm just grateful to be here, man. Honestly,
you, man.
I truly mean that, bro.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
appreciate that. Really appreciate that.
It's all love, G.
It's all love, man. Well, thank you for being so open on this, man.
Oh, bro,
gonna inspire
this is
a lot of
man.
people.
I was looking forward to it, man.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. It's a safe place to open up. So
100%, and we'll do it again.
yeah,
We'll do it
oh
again.
for sure.
Because I'm coming back.
Oh, yes, sir.
That's it.
Yeah, G.